Look at Nvidia today. Nvidia going crazy. Wow. Nvidia up to almost 1,200. Q and SPY are sitting around highs, but Nvidia up to almost lifetime highs. Or over lifetime highs in pre-market. It's kind of crazy. Today we got non-farm employment data. We got GameStop and AMC. Yeah, so today we got the non-farm employment change. We also got services PMI dropping much later this morning. All right. Yeah, we're a little late. It's all right. There we go. All right, guys. All right, so yeah, Nvidia breaking highs. Nvidia at 1180s. Look at the Q following it up with it. My equities portfolio is looking solid from this as well. Today we're pretty green on Nvidia. We bought Nvidia not too long ago. What else am I in? I'm in a couple different stocks. Nike, we're basically flat on. A lot of stuff ran yesterday with all this stuff. We're kind of quiet now, but we ran a lot. All right, chat. So we're trying to limit all right, there we go. That should be good. All right, so yeah, today we got the non-farm employment change data going live. Split is Monday. What is your prediction for GameStop today? I don't know. What's up, Beach Bum? Jay, Ron Barron. What's up, Jason? C. Nvidia split is Friday. What's up, Justin? GT. And Canada rate cut decision today. Yeah, that is today as well. All right, the DTCC rule on short sellers. All right, let's take it out. All right, so I'm going to ask AI. The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation has several rules and regulations that impact short selling in the stock market. One of the key rules related to short selling is designed to enhance transparency and reduce risks associated with short selling activities. Here are the primary aspects of it. Number one is short position reporting. The DTCC requires the reporting of short positions to enhance market transparency. This means that brokers and dealers must report their short positions regularly. The info collected helps regulators and market participants understand the extent of short selling in various securities. Regulation SHO, while not exclusively a DTCC rule, Regulation SHO enforced by the Securities and Exchange Commission is critical in this context. It includes several provisions that affect short sellers, such as number one, locate requirements. Before executing a short sale, brokers must locate and secure the ability to borrow the security to enhance that it can be delivered. Closeout requirements are if a short sale results in a failure to deliver the security within a specific time frame, usually T3. The broker must close out the position by purchasing the securities in the open market. The NSCC rules on margin requirements also state that a margin requirement on brokers to mitigate risk include daily mark to market, which is positions are marked to market daily to ensure that brokers maintain adequate collateral. Additional margins and volatility, which is that higher margin requirements may be imposed on high volatile stocks to protect against significant price movements. Transparency and reporting enhancements. Yeah, so there's some rules. People are speculating that's going to stop GameStop from squeezing. All right, so Boeing news on unusual whales found guilty of stealing trade secrets, $20 million in damages. I'm in Boeing right now. We're still green on it, though. We're not down that much overnight, unless it's T1 halted or something. Yeah, but Boeing is up a lot. Interesting. All right. Yeah, we got the Bank of Canada. We got a lot of stuff. We got services PMI today. We just got a lot of stuff dropping this morning. Yeah, we got non-farm employment data going live. We also have services PMI. So again, we'll cover this. We'll put a timer up. We don't have that long. All right, so prelim data is dropping at 8:15. And is expected at, so the prelim non-farm payroll data is expected at 173,000, with last time showing 192K. Does the market want more or less jobs? Is the question. Let me have my. I need some coffee, dude. I didn't get enough sleep last night. Wait. I'm gonna restart TOS real quick, chat. Alright, sorry. I'm gonna restart TOS. specifically because my profit on the year isn't showing up. Like, I'm up thousands of dollars on the year, but I want to see it. For whatever reason, it said it was unavailable today. Let's try to log it online. Yeah, so Jolts yesterday. I want to see what my total profit is. So there's my total profit. All right, so I restarted toss. Let me get back up here. Sorry, guys. I know I'm leaving you guys in the lurch here. Sorry. I would love the market to go down. Why? Yeah, I think so many people bet the market's going to go down. I think another one of the reasons we get a lot of trolls. Like, I know a lot of short sellers from back in the day that were like really, really short biased, right? And they were also kind of like following all these mentors, you know, so they just got kind of taken advantage of, but they were so overly short biased that, and you guys know me, I'm basically telling people the truth, which is that the market is probably about to go up long term, right? And if you're betting against that gain, you're taking a sucker's bet, right? But a lot of them, you know, because they follow these mentors, they act like they know more than me. And then when they're wrong, I think it's kind of a really tough pill to swallow, right? I think it's just hard for them to accept that, like, they make fun of me because I don't know anything, but then I've been more accurate than they have been long term, and they've been overly short, exactly like I said. I think a lot of traders get wrapped up in that mentality, and again, you're missing out on the biggest edge the market gives you guys. Like, you know, I guess the overarching point I try to make when I do these rants is dollar cost average into the S&P, the NASDAQ. Like, pick a handful of blue chip stocks if you like that too. You know, most people are not going to be able to beat the market that way, but, like, you know. All right, I got to see a better... There it is. So I can see what I'm up this year. I want to see what I'm up on the year, though. It won't show me that. So I'm up from May to June. Like, I'm up over the last 30 days. Like, here's my profit graph in markets. Like, this is TOS over the last 30 days. Right? That's my profit graph. This is my actual rate of return graph, right? I'm not going to show you the percentages, but it's not bad. To be fair, we're not really investing a huge chunk of our portfolio currently, but we're holding enough to make some money. I guess since the Schwab switch, it's not showing me how much I'm up on the year because we switched brokers in the middle of the year, I guess, is what it is. History. Does it show me? It better show me last year, no? Yeah, like, look, here's my ratio on my holdings right now. So this is actually what I do like this about Schwab, right? Like, it shows you your gain to loss ratio, which in this case is 75% roughly. Like I said, 75% roughly. That graph is pulled directly from TOS, like from Charles Schwab. Yeah, so today is the non-farm employment change. We got, let's see, it is almost 7 a.m. We got until 8:15, so we got an hour and 19 minutes roughly until the non-farm data shows up. Yeah, so this is when the non-farm payroll data comes out. The Q was up. You can see Nvidia breaking major highs. Yeah, Nvidia split reflecting. Ask your tax guy, Marco, how much taxes you have to pay on your gains is going to depend on a lot of different things. Ask your CPA, brother. I'm not a CPA, man. All right, guys. So here are the 5 biggest market stories of today, June 5th. All right, number 1 is the Dow jumped 348 points, erasing losses from earlier in the week. The S&P also hit a record high, driven by investors shrugging off mixed economic data and weaker than expected retail sales last week. The latest job opening and labor turnover report, which is the JOLTS report, reported a decline in job openings to 8.06 million yesterday in April, down from 8.4 million in March. This marks the lowest level since February of 21, suggesting a cooling labor market, which is great for inflation. It's an optimistic thing, I think. Overseas in India, railway stocks plummet as they saw significant declines following narrow BJP-led NDA election win. Shares of companies like I can't pronounce most of these, dropped by over 26%. In railways, Goldman Sachs updates their conviction list. They added 5 new stocks, including 2 solar companies, to its U.S., quote, conviction list. It reflects the bank's strategic focus on sectors it expects to outperform in the current market environment. And Tesla traders prepare for volatility around the upcoming June 13th shareholder vote. The anticipation is driving significant trading activity and market attention towards the stock. So that is the largest news stories of the day, chat. What's your opinion on Cannabis growth? Cannabis growth, a cannabis company. When who knows whether cannabis is going to be legalized anytime soon, and you know, outside of that, I'm pretty sure CGC has bad margins. No, let me see. Yeah, so here's Cannabis growth companies, EPS. Yeah, they have bad margins. So basically, they're losing money. They've only made money 2 times, as you can see here, or 3 times in their entire history of being publicly listed since 2018. They've only had 3 profitable quarters in years, in freaking 6 years, bro. You know? Again, I don't trust it. Again, I talk about this all the time. You know, 15 years ago, I would never imagine that cannabis federally would still be illegal. You know, law enforcement has lobbied against it, and essentially, and again, of course, law enforcement wants it to be illegal so they can keep locking people up for it and making money from locking people up for a relatively harmless plant. But because of that, I'm just not confident in any of these cannabis stocks moving forward. You know, I know we had the rescheduling of it, but the rescheduling doesn't actually do that much, except for it does open up broad lending and banking for cannabis, which is good, but we'll see. I'm skeptical of most of these cannabis stocks, specifically CGC. Plug Power, I don't know enough about to really speculate on. Yeah, what's interesting. Look at this gainer chart. So these are all my trades, chat, percentage-wise. Right? So, like, these are my percentages. I do like this about Schwab. So check this out on Schwab. So this is my TOS account right here. Right? So this is my TOS account. Where this shows me my percentages. Okay, so this is GameStop right here that we made this money on, right? People will say, oh, John, how can you hold GameStop? I told you guys I'd probably sell some at the peak, and I did. Again, you can kind of see this chart. So these are my percentage trades, right? So these are my percentage gains. This is one of the Schwab charts. This percentage trades. Look at this. So this is GameStop right here. So I sold GameStop at like a 250% return. Very nice. I sold something else down here for 100%. I'm not sure what that was. Let me see what that is. This was GameStop as well. So I sold a bunch of stuff on the rip. Outside of that, you know, we had a couple nice little gains up here. You can kind of see we made some money up there. This was we sold gold. We sold Salesforce. We sold Target for a 6% return roughly. We sold more Target. We sold AMD. We made 9% on AMD, 9.1%. You love to see it. We made a couple other trades too. Yeah, percentage-wise, I mean, we did really well on a lot of these trades. Let me see if it tells me my percentage basis here. Where's my percentage? I wish oh yeah, let me look at percentages. Okay, so yeah, so Alibaba currently, we're up about 14 to 16% on Alibaba. On Boeing, we're up about 5%. On CVS, we're up about 2.6%. GameStop, we're still up about 44% on some of these. 100%. Home Depot, we're up about 3% or so. AMD, we made about 9.1%. CVS, we're up about 3%. Roblox, we're up about 18% for Roblox. Did it bounce? It did. Okay, so yeah, Roblox, we're up about 18%. Walmart, we're up about 9%. Another AMD trade that we took off, I guess, we made 14%. Meta, we made 13%. Let's see what else we got. So yeah, I'm looking at all the investments. Chewy, we're up 32%. Are we up in Chewy? We are. We're green. We're up 32% Chewy. You love to see it. Salesforce, we ended up losing about 3.5% on the total trade, but we might have taken some more off. Target, we made about 6%. CVS, we made another 7%. Home Depot, we earned a couple percent, I guess. Target, again, we made nice. Gold, we're up like 15%. So not bad. Not bad. Look at GameStop spike a little bit here in the pre-market session. Nvidia is still sitting over the 200 EMA, right around the volume weighted average price, around 1180s. So the non-farm employment change is the prelim non-farm data. So on Wednesday today at 8:15, we get the non-farm employment change. And then on Friday, we get non-farm payrolls and unemployment. Yeah, so we're looking at all the other stuff. So we're finally getting started on the Star Wars prequels with Jack. My daughter and I, it's like my daughter and I's thing is Star Wars. We watched all of them together, including the new ones. We're starting from episode 1 and moving all the way up the canon list. All right, guys, so GameStop ripped up and then came right back down. The Q bounced right at the 200 EMA. Nvidia sitting right at the 200 EMA. All right, America. What currency do you want now? Any thoughts? Yeah, we again with my kids we did 4 to 6, then 1 to 3, just so he gets that Darth. Yeah, no, my wife here. Listen, my wife has no idea. So my wife is now watching the original prequels with us. So she's watching like Little Annie and the Pod Racers. And she's like, oh, what a great kid, you know? She has no idea he turns into Darth Vader. No idea. And I even confirmed with her yesterday. I was like, hey, so you don't know these stories at all? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, good. So my son doesn't know either, I don't think. But my wife hasn't put 2 to 2 together that he's Darth Vader, you know? Hey, John, do you know how long Apex takes to pay after payout approval requested a $4,000 payout and it was approved? It should be within a week or two. Probably earlier than that, but it depends. All right, chat, we got about an hour before non-farm employment change data comes out. Futures could be traded. Yeah, so she has no idea. Yeah, so I saw the episode 1 with my dad. So episode 1 I saw it with my dad. I was kind of like a nerdy tech kid though. So like I've told this story before, but I'll say it again just because we're talking about it. So I was like a nerdy tech kid. And so I watched episode 1, but by the time episode 2 came out, I actually got like, so apparently I was streaming episode 2, Attack of the Clones, online, months before it was released in theaters, and Warner Bros. Actually gave me like a cease and desist letter. Apparently, like, I was streaming it on LimeWire. My dad still talks about this. I was streaming it on LimeWire, and apparently, while I was streaming it, so like it was allowing other people to download it from me, and so Warner Bros. Got mad, or whomever it was. I don't remember who sent it. It was one of the big studios. They sent me a cease and desist letter. My dad freaked out and got mad at me. But he also watched it with me afterwards, So, I mean, he couldn't get too mad. GameStop at 27s. So, I don't know what's causing GameStop to move up. Nvidia's up there as well. But yeah, so I remember distinctly seeing episode 2 in theater, or episode 2 on my computer with very bad quality. But it was the movie. It was the same movie. So yeah. Yeah, guys, so question about for my real estate guys here, my real estate investors. All right, question. So I'm about to buy a rental property, right? So yesterday I went and looked at houses. My budget, I really could buy either one. Like, I was thinking of buying in the 200, like the low twos, like 210, 215,000, which are going to be noticeably like smaller houses, like 2 and 3 bedroom homes. I was wanting to buy them. But because I thought that, like, in terms of appreciation, as long as I don't buy manufactured homes, right? As long as I'm not buying manufactured homes, then I'll probably have a good chance of appreciation over time, right? Which is the whole goal of it. But after looking at the homes yesterday, I think I probably should bump up a little bit. Like, we're gonna be buying it cash, But after looking at the houses yesterday, I'm thinking I might want to. Like bump it up to maybe like 250 to 270,000, because again, it's just the houses I looked at yesterday, like, they looked really good online. We looked at one that had it has like a lake in the background. I'm like, okay, fishing Airbnb is what I'm thinking, right? I go look at this house, bro. This house is tiny. It's got a lake in the backyard, but the whole neighborhood is basically falling apart. They didn't even mow the grass so you can look at it. Like, it's just the good news is I could probably throw a cheap offer in there. The problem is that it looks like the foundation was cracking on it. I just didn't like it. I feel like I could probably... It's going to be a better move to just bump up my price a little bit and get like a $300,000. If you buy a rental right now, wouldn't you have the high rent to cover the extra cost of interest? We're paying cash for it. So yeah, we're not mortgaging it. Early 2000s, LimeWire, Napster, private. That's why people always ask me about these day trading courses. And again, I'm going to tell you guys again, I'm not telling you that you can search the internet and find most of these day trading gurus courses out there for free on the net somewhere. I would never ever tell you to download that stuff for completely free and get that day trading content completely free without paying thousands of dollars for it, I would never recommend that you guys do that. You know. It's for a rental property and potentially like leaving my money to diversify and sit. Q's still moving up. What is this right here? This is Roblox. Roblox gapping up nicely today as well. My portfolio looks good this morning. Yesterday we treated my portfolio really, really well. AMC's still sitting low though, but it's under 5. It's not as bad as it could be. Nvidia, of course, shooting up. Google doing really well. Gold doing okay. It's not all my cash, you know. Yeah, it's not all my cash, Scott. That's what I'm saying. Right, that's what I was thinking, Pawn. Is that I should probably just bump up and do a 300K, you know. We're going to have a lot better tenants at $300,000 price range. Like, if you use the 3% rule, right? There's a rule in rental properties, because this isn't my first one, but there's a rule that you want to try to get at least 1%, right? So in this case, you want to get $3,000 a month at 300K. If it's a $220,000 house, you want to get 2.2 thousand a month. And now you're going to keep about 40 to 60% of that, right? The rest is going to go to taxes and expenses and you know, TLC and stuff like that. So you're going to keep about 50% of that, but even 50%, right? Even if we look at 220, say this gets down to 2.2 thousand, right? Multiplied times 12 would be about 26,400 gross. And then if you're keeping about 50% of that, you know, that means we're going to make about $13,000 a year from that property, which is good. You know, you divide that in a monthly, you know, you're going to be making a little bit over $1,000 a month in net profit on that rental property, which is good, you know, which is good. And then over time, it probably will appreciate as well. And so in terms of percentages, you know, again, you're going to be making about $1,100 a month, about $13.2 thousand a year. In terms of percentages, it's decent percentages when you calculate appreciation over time as well, right? Like homes are typically appreciate at 5% annually, and so you're going to make about 5% in appreciation plus the cash flow that it produces. So that's the reason, especially right now before interest rates go down, I think it makes sense. If you're not a licensed builder, why would you think renting is for you? I'm not sure. I mean, I understand there's somewhat of a correlation between builders and landowners, but I think it's always smart to own land, guys. Like, it's always smart to own land, and to own real estate. The reason it's smart, there's a lot of reasons it's smart. Okay, again, number one is the diversification of income. Look at Nvidia shoot up to 1180s. Right, number one, it's the diversification of income. All right, number two is that if I ever find myself in a bad, you know, spot, I can always refinance the house. I can always get a loan taken on that property and get a quick $100,000-$200,000 like that based off of that property. And so if I need liquid money fast, I can get a loan based off of my assets, right? Like, that's another reason real estate is good. Another reason is right now cash is king, and I can get some good value with cash, right? Before interest rates go down, I can get good value with cash. You know, and number three, in terms of appreciation, it's very steady, right? So cash flow producing, appreciating most likely. I can get liquid cash from it if I really need it. You know, there's just a lot of reasons to own homes. All right, guys. So again, we are getting some upward action here. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia shooting up to 1180s. We still got about an hour before non-farm employment change comes out. The Q sitting at 456. We also have, again, services PMI coming out later this morning. You holding Nvidia? Yeah, I'm holding it. I've been in it. Yeah, it's treated me really nice for Nvidia. We're up a really nice percentage there. Housing dump is a 10-year cycle. I mean, sure, but that doesn't matter, you know. Like, okay. I do not need to sell this home anytime soon. You know, again, this home is not for short-term gains. I mean, it's for rental income, but this home is to be long-term cash flow producing, appreciating asset. You know, that's what it's for. Yeah, so a lot of people are speculating that Roaring Kitty might specifically exercise his option, and that might help. Yeah, so an interesting story is the VCs poured billions of dollars into crypto gaming over the last few years, and now people are talking about there's not really any action in crypto gaming anymore. There's not that many users in crypto gaming anymore. What does that mean? Did I get my payout? No, I haven't requested it yet. I don't know what I do. Again, I'm up about $3,000 on this 50K challenge. I'm up about 3K. I don't know what I want to do with it. I don't know what I want to do with it. Part of me wants to keep trading on it, you know, and build up a larger payout. But again, I don't know what I want to, you know, I don't know what I want to do on it. Let me see what I'm up on. Technically, in profit, I am up. Let's take a look. I'll show you guys my stats here on Apex. But yeah, so technically I am up net. Net-wise, we're up $2,840. This month has been a great month. We ran about 68% accuracy. About 68% accuracy. Definitely a little bit of a whirlwind month where we were up, down, up, down. Gross profit this month is about $1,000. Oh, this is just from June. Okay, I don't want just from June. I want back maybe like April 15th. Yeah. So yeah. So starting mid-April, my accuracy rate's about 69%. Here's my actual trades. You know, my risk and reward's not the best, but it's not terrible either. Like, my losing trades are a little bit larger than my winning trades. You know, but we're running about 69% accuracy here. You can kind of see that total profit is about $2,840. Not bad. You can see my profit graph here with fees included. So here's my net profit graph. The most we were ever down over the last couple months is about $271. So, I mean, I could put my, I could put a payout request in. I don't know. Well, maybe, I guess we'll try. All right, guys, we got about an hour left before non-farm employment data drops at 8:15 market time, guys. 8:15. All right, so AMC is up to almost 480s today. It's trying. Non-farm prelim or non-farm employment change. It's not the biggest response, but it might move markets a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Kind of taking a look at everything. Alright, guys, so I gotta keep checking those buy and sell signals that I had. What else we got here? I thought I paid. Alright, Roblox is up nicely. Nvidia's still moving up here, trying to move up. Okay. Yep, so again, it's June 5th. Markets seem to be bouncing back. Campbell Soup reported earnings today. I don't think we had any other big earnings. Let me check. We got Dollar Tree this morning. Lululemon this evening. It might be time to buy the dip in Lululemon, to be honest, though. Like, I might buy the dip in Lululemon. As much as I've been kind of hating on it, I think there might be some objective value. I'm going to buy a small position here. Let me see. It's got a big range, though, and so, let's see. Let me see a 10-day range. It's got a 10-day range of about $45 a share. So we're gonna have to take a small position here, I think. But I'm gonna buy a small position of Lululemon. Actually, I'm going to wait for earnings come out tomorrow. I usually like buying up stuff. I'm not going to buy it today. I think there might be some background, though. So, again, we'll see. Your picture is background. What? Palantir? I mean, I think it's got a good chance. We'll see, though. Who knows, man? It's hard to tell. That type of stuff's hard to tell. The equities market still is moving up. Nvidia included. It's up to 1181. So look at GameStop hit 27s. So GameStop popped 27s here. I wonder if Schwab's going to give me more data. See, unfortunately, it doesn't let me look at my long-term gains or losses on Schwab anymore. Yeah, so... yeah, it won't let me look at last year. That sucks, dude. Okay, there's my 10. Huh. What's up, Piper? How you doing, brother? Yeah, I mean, we don't give out signals here. I mean, that's definitely not something we're gonna do. Oh, not you, Piper. Unless we're talking about Chart Prime. Chart Prime's dope. We use them pretty regularly. We're talking about, like, I'm not gonna personally tell you to buy anything here is what I mean by that. All right, guys, we're at the 1182s. Q is at 456.60s. Also, today's job numbers. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. The market yesterday. So again, if we look at the Q yesterday, right? The market yesterday was mostly flat after yesterday's JOLTS report at 10 a.m. So the market was mostly flat. Didn't really move much. Had a late reaction, but the Q and Nvidia did start to run later on in the day. It's interesting because I think the market, no matter what, bears are going to try to argue like whatever the report is bearish, right? So if as an example, like if the market, if jobs numbers come in low, they're going to say, oh, the economy is shrinking. It's the end of the world, right? If job numbers are high, they're going to say, oh, no, inflation problems. It's the end of the world. I think the market wants low job numbers right now. I think the market fears inflation. I think we should fear inflation. I think prices have gone up so much in the last 5 years, and prices don't usually go back down. The best we can hope to do is slow prices down, right? So I think we need to be especially careful with inflation right now, and we need to keep interest rates high, discourage spending, and I think we want lower job numbers because of that, lower economic growth numbers because of that, because the market should fear inflation. Prices can't sustain going up anymore, I think, and so So basically, I think we should focus heavily on inflation and target that and not really worry. Like, the economy is going to drop as we combat inflation. That's the normal reaction. It doesn't mean the world's going to end or the market's going to crash. I didn't get enough sleep last night. All right, guys, so we're still getting choppy action. Here's the Q at 457s. We're not there yet. Yeah, I don't think it's time to, again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I think we need to keep interest rates high. You know, and again, it's something like, people get so mad at me, man. Like, people get so upset. I said it earlier. It stems from me telling people the market doesn't have to crash. And then all the bearish traders say the market's going to crash, just watch. And then acting like they somehow are superior, and then the market not crashing, the market going up, that makes them kind of big mad about it, and they end up lashing out. That's typically what happens. But again, I'm not even saying the economy is rosy. You know, again, I just don't think we should focus on economic growth as the test of how good things are. I think economic growth in this current context is a negative because of inflation problems. And I think because of how much, you know, people are really unhappy. You know, you get a lot of people that think that we're in a recession right now when we're not. We're not in a recession. You know, we're just not in, we're simply not in a recession, right? And so what people are really struggling from is not a recession. It's specifically prices going up too much over the last 5 years, and prices don't really drop. Not really. Like, sometimes food prices and gas prices drop, but outside of those two things, prices don't really go back down. They can only slow down. And so people are struggling because prices have gone up so much. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people wonder why I want high interest rates, is because high interest rates will stop people from spending and pushing inflation higher, right? Like, that's why we want high interest rates, is because it stops people from spending and pushes interest rates, or it pushes inflation down, or slows it down. Because when interest rates are high, people have less money to spend on mortgages and auto loans or whatever, lending in general. But it doesn't mean everything's good and fine. So again, right now the Fed has raised rates aggressively, and now they're pausing rates, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But yeah, I think we need to be especially careful, make sure inflation gets under control. All right, guys, we got about 40 minutes left. It's like saying winter is coming. Eventually they will get it right and say, I told you so, even though it might be 50. Yeah, 100%, right? The way I describe it, and I probably say this multiple times every week, but it's like throwing darts at a dartboard. Eventually you're going to hit it, right? If you keep telling everybody the market's going to crash, eventually you're going to be right. But it doesn't mean you have high accuracy with predicting crashes, right? I'm sure they're going to act like they do, but it doesn't mean they do. And again, I think the market is filled with a lot of ego, a lot of emotion. And so, and I think I truly do, and I say this over and over again, but I really do think that, like, I think people want to be like Michael Burry and predict the next big market crash. I think YouTube influencers want to be that way. I think stock traders want to be that way, right? I think they look up to the people that predicted the 2008 market crash, and they want to be like them, right? And they want to be like them. They want to have that type of foresight. They want to have that type of they want to have people looking up to them in that way, right? So that makes people over-predict crashes is what it does. It makes all these different people want to be that person. What they're missing out on is that you're not standing out. Like, there's so many people predicting that now. It's much different from 2008 where nobody thought the market was about to crash, right? Almost nobody thought the market was going to crash in 2008. It's a much different thing now where you got 50% of people telling you the market's going to crash, which honestly makes me think it's going to crash less, but anything can happen, and it might crash. Who knows? Again, I think if it does crash, it's going to be a turn on microchips. Microchips turn, that drags everything else back down. If Nvidia gives back a lot of the gains, that could cause problems. Like, I think there's chances of that. Even with AI, I think being that next big technology, the .com crash happened, and the internet was still a really useful technology. In hindsight, the internet was crazy useful and crazy game-changing. And so I think AI is that as well, but it doesn't mean it's not going to crash from it. But we'll see. We'll see. Non-farm employment change, which is prelim data, is today. Non-farm payrolls is Friday. So every time payroll numbers come out, the Wednesday before that gets prelim payroll numbers, which is today. I'm sure economically speaking, if we brought more of the warehouses and businesses infrastructure back that we used to have, we could potentially offset the negative impacts of inflation. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's tough. I think the real problem, I think there's a couple major problems. I think big education has gotten so expensive. I think college has gotten so expensive, and I think the net value that you're getting from college isn't like it used to be, Like, I've lost friends because they went to college, spent their entire, teens and 20s going to college, getting high degrees, and I make 4 times what they make right now. Talking about stocks on YouTube. And so I think college, the risk reward is certainly more pronounced now for college. I think students are locking themselves into long-term debt to get degrees. A lot of the degrees they're getting aren't worth it. Like, if you're not getting a STEM degree or a degree in which people truly need a job for it, like if you're getting like a really vague bachelor's of business or journalism or communications, those are nonsense degrees for the most part. You're still going to get a better job than somebody without a degree if you want to work a corporate job. But I think a lot of people are finding that they can start their own businesses and make more money faster, get more experience, get more education in business than a lot of those degrees are going to get you. I'm biased for sure, but I also think that you're going to get an easier job if you have a degree. I think it's no matter what kind of degree you have, you're still going to have an easier time finding a job. You're probably going to get paid more when you get a job as well, depending on where you live. But I think the problem is that college is locking people into super high debt, like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and that's taken decades to pay off, right? And so that is I think the degree is good. I think you're going to get paid more. I think you're going to have an easier time finding a job, but is it worth locking yourself into 6 figures of debt that's going to take 5 to 10 years to pay off? And you have to pay it off. It's one of the only lending that's not forgivable. And so I just think I think that's causing problems too, and I think, people get mad. Like, I'm a capitalist, but I also believe that college should be free to a certain extent, like the rest of the world. right? I think if my tax dollars are going to get spent on anything, I don't mind it getting spent on education, but because I think locking students into long-term debt's not going to work long-term. I think it's going to, you know. Yeah, hey, thanks, Sly. He said, yesterday I bought a new sub for Chart Prime. This indicator is so good, I wrote down beginner trading as the channel where I have the information about Chart Prime from. Hey, nice, Sly. Hey, thanks, brother. Specific knowledge pays more than general. Yeah. I've learned more about everything from YouTube for free. 100%, dude. Experience creates opportunity. Yeah, I mean, I think what it is this, right? I've said this before. I think the people who generally end up being successful, right, in business specifically, are people who monetize their passions. They figure out something they know really well, and they monetize that in one way. They build a business around it in one way, right? Like, those are the ones that are usually very successful in business. And again, I'm just using my example. Like, I love trading. I love the stock market. I love the markets. Now I have a business that brings in multiple six figures every year. And it's something that I know really well. You know, it's something that I knew well. I knew tech. I knew the internet. I knew social media, and I knew stock market and trading. And so I combined all those interests to create a business around it. And you can use that example in a lot of different businesses, you know, a lot of different avenues. The problem with college is that when you sit there for half a decade, it's very hard to be interested in other things. You got to spend so much time learning and learning and learning all these obscure subjects sometimes that it's very difficult to find other interests, to be honest. You're not going to have time to. You got to, you know, go to multiple classes a day and all that stuff. So I think it delays that type of thing as well. But again, to be fair, to give you the other side of that argument here, again, Nvidia sitting right at the volume weighted average price, the Q right at 457s. So the Q is ripping up. Nvidia is pretty green on the day. GameStop is holding to a certain extent. I'm looking at stuff like Apple. Apple is green over the last couple weeks. Microsoft down a little bit. So Microsoft down to 417s. We'll look at that one. Meta breaking highs. So Meta up to 484s here. So breaking the high of the last couple weeks. But yeah, going back to this topic. Oh man, where was I? I lost my spot. What was I talking about? I know I was talking about monetizing your interest. You don't have much time to work. Oh yeah, to be fair, I know what I was going. To be fair, a college degree is not worthless. Like, you're still gonna have value. You're still gonna have, like, you're gonna get a job over somebody without a degree most of the time. You're gonna get paid more initially if you have a degree most of the time. And so yeah, it's definitely gonna make jobs easier to get. You're gonna get paid more for sure. You know, the question is not that though. The question is, and I think if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, or an attorney, you know, or something like that, or a pharmacist, right? Go to college. You need to. I disagree in some of the ways they do it. Again, I still believe that. I believe that it should go back to how it used to be, where if I want to be an attorney, if I pass the bar and find an apprenticeship, I could be an attorney without needing freaking 6 years. And I think one of the most ridiculous changes is that they made it big education. You know, it used to be if you passed the bar and had an apprenticeship, you could be an attorney. Right now, you got to go to college for 8 freaking years to do it. And I disagree with that. I think people learn more not from school, but from the apprenticeship structure that it used to be, where you go work under an attorney and he would teach you the ins and outs of everything. And I think that's a better way to learn from experience than to go to school and pay big money to go to school for law school. But again, there's pros and cons, right? Like, there's pros and cons for sure. Meta breaking highs, so Meta up to 484s, highs of the last few weeks at least. Google, yeah, Google up to 175s. I'm in Google right now. Is there any news on this? Most of the market was choppy yesterday. I see plumbers, electricians, and HVACs make a lot more money than college grads. I think it depends on which kind. If you own the company behind those things, sure. But if you're just kind of working for a company like that, I disagree. I think that you'll probably make more going to college for stuff. I think an HVAC tech if you're working under somebody else's, you know, they can make okay money, but it's not crazy like good. Like I think the ceiling is lower unless they start their own company, which is possible. You know, start your own company, do your thing. I like this idea of state paying for education. Right. I mean, I think that's the standard of the rest of the world, you know. And I think the reason we don't see that is because big education makes so much freaking money and lobbies against it, you know. But I think that we should have free education like the rest of the world. And I think tax dollars get wasted in a lot of different ways. But I'm okay with free education, right? I think it should be there. And I think it's something that, free college specifically, like the rest of the world. Yeah, the truck driving, electricians. Electricians, you got to go to school for a long time too, though, you know. Yeah, for an electrician, you got to have 7,000 hours of on-job training, 4 or 5 year apprenticeship. So yeah, electrician. If I'm not gonna be an electrician. I'm just gonna go be a freaking doctor or something. Electricians make bank though. It depends on how early you get started. I'm buying the dip on the E-mini. We expected AI to take labor jobs, doing the opposite at a much greater rate. Yeah. Trades over college. Yeah, trades can work well. Welding. I'm from the South, right? So most people that I know, honestly, like almost a lot of people I know that didn't go to college work at plants here. I'm from Louisiana, you know, and so most of the people I know work at plants. They work plant jobs now. You know, but there's a cost to that, man. There's a cost of working at a plant. Like you might make like whatever, like 80 grand a year or something decent. But inhaling all that stuff ain't good for you, you know. Yeah, for sure, type 100%. Became a licensed electrician before I was 20. I was looking at it. It says 4 to 5 years. That's too long. It's the profile that opens better doors. Yeah, I mean, networking is important. But I think a lot of people get so tunnel visioned on networking that it ends up hurting them in the long run. Again, like I've had a lot of my kids' friends' parents, right? So like a lot of my kids' friends' parents, you know, some of them see I've been on YouTube or whatever, and like I get networking, right? But I think one thing that's better than just networking, like I can tell like they're just kind of going from parent to parent, trying to become acquaintances and friends with them so that they can use them in their network for their own benefit, right? But I think they get so tunnel vision with that it seems disingenuous, you know, like it doesn't seem genuine to me. Like I've had a couple of my son's friends come up to me and they're rushing into businesses way too quickly with me where I don't know them well enough. Like I had one that was trying to get me to promote like an NFT project over something. I can't even remember what it was, but like I remember I did meetings and all this stuff. And I remember just kind of sitting there thinking like, bro, like I'm not going to sell my audience on this NFT project it was like some type of chemical too. It was weird. And I'm just sitting there thinking my audience isn't going to buy this, you know, like y'all are looking at me like I need to promote this. And they're looking at me with money signs in their eyes, but they're not thinking deeply about it, you know? And so it's fine to network, but like I think making genuine friendships is better. Obviously. Q up to 457s here. I'm getting a bear signal on the Q though. I'm not telling you to do anything here, but I am getting a bear signal on the Q. I might try to short the Q here in my TOS accounts. This is Thinkorswim, TD America, or this is not TD, this is Schwab now. Let's get the flatten out the way, reverse, cancel. All right, that should do it. Let's short a little bit. 25 shares? What? All right, we're short 25 shares. We'll short 50. See, the problem is if Nvidia starts to run, it's going to drag this up potentially here. So we're just going to take 50 shares short. Yeah, sorry, I'm missing a lot of these comments because I'm doing other stuff. A degree can provide the initial funds necessary to invest or trade. Everything can be used to an advantage. Yeah, but that's under the assumption that you're going to get a good job from it, and that's not necessarily always true. Yeah, I got to do a poll here too. Spot popping. Hey, I can't touch the work legitimately. That's the niche in the construction industry. Yeah, I mean, 24 years in plants. Yeah, man, I get it. I'm not knocking you. You can make good money. Like, if you look at the average plant worker here. Yeah, the average plant worker salary in Texas is $16 an hour. That ain't high at all, dude. California has a higher minimum wage. The average hourly pay for a plant jobs in Louisiana is $14.37 an hour. Really? Is it that low? For my plant workers out there, like how much do you make a year? Please tell me. Average salary for plant operator is $21.20. So that's better, right? So let's just call it $20 an hour, roughly, right? Let me know if that's accurate. $20 an hour, say you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So $160 a day, 5 days a week, $800 a week times 4.3 weeks in a month. You're making about $3,400 pre-tax a month times 12, about $40,000 a year. Is that accurate? That's not very much. Like, you know, no, I'm not knocking 40 or 50K a year, but I think you do pay. I think it does. There's pros and cons to working at a plant. Specifically, health problems can occur from working at a plant. You breathe in a lot of toxic stuff. Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to make money online now, to where I can make over 40K easily online without needing to do all that stuff. But everybody's different. We got different skills and everything, so not judging. All right, so we were right about this little breakdown here. We should have maybe bought more shares in the queue. We're at 455, so we still got about 20 minutes before the non-farm data comes out. It's about right for me, Frostbite. Yeah. You could live off that in parts of Michigan. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Louisiana, you know, so I think it varies. What's up, Beach? Hey, have a good day, brother. Ah, so we got this nice dip, and then we got a huge bounce back up, so. Again, I think we're around highs. I'm not going to hold this through the report, though. Great idea. We should all quit our jobs to make money online. Of course, I'm not telling you to do that. Of course I'm not. Again, something I said was we all have different skills. Everybody's different. You know, my skills are online, you know, marketing, business, you know, but other people's skills might be plant work. I'm not judging you. You know, do what you got to do. Make your money. Figure out what you're good at and monetize that is the easiest way to say it. Non-farm data showing for Friday. So every time non-farm payroll data comes out, on the Wednesday prior to the release, we get prelim non-farm payroll data. It's called non-farm employment change data. Today's is dropping at 8:15 market time. It's expected at 173,000. Last time it came in at 192. So it'll give a prelim look at jobs is what this is. This is prelim data. The main one drops Friday. Non-farm payrolls drop Friday. This is the prelim NFP data. From Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is nice, just expensive, but nice. I like Pennsylvania. Drop this man some likes. He holds good conversation and debates. Hey, thanks so much, George. Appreciate it, brother. We try, man. We try. I try to switch it up, talk about different things, talk about markets, give people an understanding of the economy, markets, jobs, stocks, futures, you know. Remember, not an investment professional, not an expert, you know. Let me put my disclaimer up. Remember, chat, I might have no idea what I'm talking about, might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. This content is entertainment only. Maybe I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. I'm not claiming to see all my trades, so do not copy me. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations and all that good stuff. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Understand all this. My goal is to buy land and live off of it. Yeah, that's a good, I mean. All right, so we did break down a little bit, but I'm trying to be patient. The problem is Nvidia. If Nvidia continues up, this is going to drag the Q up with us, but I think the Q's gone up enough where I can continue to short it. I'm not going to hold this through the NFP prelim results. Right, exactly. Like, you know, type, like, and again, I'm not knocking manual labor. I'm really not, right? Like, I think those jobs are needed, and I think it's a good living, man, and you can't knock people that do manual labor for a living. You really can't. But one thing that's not arguable is the ceiling for other things is much higher, right? Like, the potential for me to make a lot of money online is much higher than the potential for me to make a lot of money with manual labor. And again, I'm not knocking those who do it. I'm really not. I've done it. Like, I used to do landscaping and trash cleanup and construction. Like, I used to do a lot of different things. I used to break cement with a sledgehammer and pick up the cement and then haul it off and do all this different stuff. So I've done it. It's not easy work at all. You get up early. But at the end of the day, you're just burnt, you know. But it's a good living, man. You can't knock people. You need it. You know, you need it. But in terms of ceiling, you know, it's obviously much higher online or elsewhere. So I guess the point is, like, you can do manual labor, and that's great. Eventually, if it were me, you got a plan to do other stuff. You know, take the money you make, build other things with it. I think that's always the move, is do one thing, make money, take the money you make from that one thing, and then build other things with it. Try to break free of that, if that makes sense. Lulu. So Lulu, I don't like Lulu long term, right? So Lululemon, very trendy in nature. Trends change, fashions change, interests change, generationally interest change, right? Like, each new generation likes different things than the previous generation for fashion. And so I think Lululemon got really big in the pandemic, kind of leisure wear, you know, kind of like yoga pants, for lack of a better word, is what they got really big on. And I think fashions change. I think yoga pants are seeing a decline. I think sweatpants, like, I have a teenage daughter, right? I'm telling you now, they like sweatpants now. Sweatpants are the new big thing. And maybe Lululemon can step in and offer that. But I think the problem investing in this company long term is that those vulnerabilities are very obvious, which is that fashions and trends change. And so that's true with Lululemon. At the same time, though, to give you the other argument, it's down a lot short term. I usually like buying up dips like this. And if we drop tomorrow after earnings, I might buy those dips. And honestly, I'm really thinking about buying a dip right now in Lululemon. I think it's down a lot. I think in terms of extension, it's down huge percentages, like 40% in the last couple months. And yeah, I think there might be some value here as well. Although I'm not going to hold it long term if I do buy it. You know, so that's kind of my stance. Essentially, I'm mixed on Lululemon. I don't know what we should do. Yeah, well, the common saying is that for every one business that succeeds, the preceding 6 businesses before that failed, right? So when you're starting businesses, the problem is that most people try to start a business and they fail at that. And then they give up and they go back to the corporate grind and they don't really do anything else, right? But it takes many tries usually. Very rarely does lightning strike on the first one. Usually it takes multiple tries before you get one that sticks, right? But once you got one that sticks, it's kind of like VC investing. If you invest in venture capitalist funds, right? If you don't know what venture capitalist is, venture capitalism is essentially funding small, like, new businesses, that aren't really super profitable yet, for the potential to have a big payout in the future. Like, so I come in and I say, hey, think of Shark Tank, right? That's VC funding. I could say, hey, I'll buy 20% of your business for $50K right now, and I'll fund that business $50K. And if that business ends up being the next freaking Google, I can make essentially billions from that $50K if I get lucky, right? But most of those are going to fail. Most of the time I'm going to lose that $50K, or at least I'm going to lose money, depending on the structure of the contracts. And so it's kind of like that, where you try it. Most of them are going to fail, so most of the time you're going to be losing money. But once you get one that works, you know, it can be really exponential gains in that type of thing. So it's very similar to that. All right, so I'm in the queue short. Nvidia's so flat. I don't know if the market's just waiting for this data to release. Hey, thank you, Darren, for the $10 donation, brother. Thanks so much. He said, my opinion is Nvidia is going to 1,200. Let's go. I think it could. It's right around that. It's only 20 bucks away. We'll see what the prelim data shows. I'm going to have to sell this position I have in the queue. I'm not going to hold it through this report. We got 10 minutes left, chat. Yeah, for sure, Justin. 100%, man. Lulu, you are wrong. They started pumping men's clothing line too. Yeah, but none of that means anything, Aldrin. Like, they've always had men's clothing. What I'm talking about is what got them big, which is yoga pants. And yoga pants are, regardless of whether they pivoted to something else, I'm not saying they're going to fail. I'm saying that it's certainly not 100% sure that they're going to succeed. And I think nothing is 100%, but especially a fashion brand that's relatively new, like Lululemon, that over the last couple months has dropped 40%. And prior to that, it was at freaking $500 a share. It's too new of a company to justify that price point, in my opinion. Now, again, I have two, like, I'm married and I have a daughter. Both of them love Lululemon. All right, I'm gonna sell this. Oh no, I just added to this. Oops. Yeah, I have a daughter and a family. Somehow we got out slightly green. And they love Lululemon. So I'm not knocking them. I think there is a chance they succeed. I just think it's too risky for me to invest in. Although right here, it might be some value. There might be cheap right here. Like, they've dropped enough short term to maybe have a small bounce. If you had to go long or short based off of today's employment data, which one? I have no idea. I really have no idea. I never try to predict these reports. I might react to them, but I try not to predict them. Because nobody really knows. And even if you know what the numbers are going to be, it's even harder to gauge what the market's reaction to the numbers going to be. So because of that, I just avoid trying to get into any super heavy size ahead of this report. We got about 800 people here. I'm going to throw it in sub-only mode, chat. So we're going to put it in sub-only mode. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. We appreciate it. Let me see where my subs are at. Yeah, help me hit 150K. We're pushing towards it. Alright, so GameStop's starting to creep up. Maybe I should have held the key short, but it's alright. Somehow we made money on it. Nvidia's treating me well too. Shopify back up. But yeah, thanks Darren for the $10 donation, brother. Yeah, you can see the data when it's released right here. Data's coming out right here, chat. Filled out a Google survey. Hey, thanks, Lucas, I guess. I think that's good. I don't know. Can you explain the Nvidia split and how much it's going to go down? So the Nvidia split specifically is good. Just again, it's not going to be an increase or decrease in value. It's going to be an increase, or it's going to be a change in the structure to decrease the price of the stock while keeping the value of the stock the same, if that makes sense, right? So basically, they're going to 10x the price. So they're going to take the price 10 times smaller. So instead of being at roughly 1,200, Nvidia is going to be at roughly 120. Right, but the value of the company, like the market cap, is going to stay the same. So basically, for every share that somebody has as Nvidia, if I have 1 share of Nvidia, after the split, I'm going to have 10 shares at a 10 times smaller price. So instead of having 1 share at roughly 1,200, I'm going to have 10 shares at 120. So the value of my shares is going to stay the same, but the price is going to shrink, and this allows more traders to be able to afford Nvidia. Instead of being $1,200, it's going to be 120. So people are going to be able to add it to their portfolio more often because it's cheaper, right? And that's the point of these splits, is to reduce the share price and allow, to increase affordability for Nvidia, right? That happens over the weekend, this weekend. So by Monday, it's going to be cheaper. All right, thanks, Lucas. Appreciate it. When I had Tesla during their forward split, it went down for a little bit, then rocketed up. Yeah, so again, it's too unpredictable about what it's going to do. Nvidia now dipping down, man. I should have stayed in that short for the Q. We were in the Q, and again, I was in the Q short. I should have stayed in it, but it's all right. I don't want to hold it. We got 3 freaking minutes left. You can see how much time is left. We got 3 minutes left. That's too risky to hold, I think, right? So I'm not trying to get stuck in a, in a gamble trade there. I'd rather just wait. I mean, splits aren't usually bearish. Usually splits usually happen whenever the stock price has gone up so much that it's not affordable for most traders anymore. So, but it's usually a sign of strength in the company. Companies that are weak usually do reverse splits, which is they want to artificially prop the price of the shares up to stay listed because of minimum listing requirements and stuff like that, right? You'll see reverse splits in a lot of like terrible penny stocks. But splits are usually a bullish thing. It usually means they're strong. John, what's your go-to fast food? I don't really eat fast food very much. To be honest, I'm also not going to talk about places I like to eat around where I live. Too many, again, I've had too many very strange, weird, stalker-like behaviors from people. I just don't want to, I don't feel like running into anybody. All right, guys. We got 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Hit that live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. We got less than 2 minutes. Let's get the data up here. We're ready here, chat. Again, today is Wednesday. We got non-farm employment data. We also have services PMI later on today. So be ready. Yeah, so again, non-farm employment expected at 173. Last time it came in at 192. We pulled these up, so we're ready. Yeah, we're ready. All right. Refresh this. All right, you guys ready? Non-farm employment change data drops in less than 2 minutes. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. You want to make sure you're fully caught up on stream, chat. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up. We got about 1.5 minutes left. All right, guys. 1 minute. Let me exit out of some of this stuff. All right, guys. Look, I'm going to pause this. This is a little bit early. So we have a little bit over. We got about 30 seconds left, 35 seconds. All right, guys. Again, expectations are 173. Last time it showed up at 192. So 173 last time it showed up at 192. This is for May. This is the non-farm employment change for May. GameStop still pushing up a little bit. The Q still bouncing. Nvidia bouncing at the volume weighted average price. We got 15 seconds, chat. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure we're fully caught up on stream. We'll see what the Q, Nvidia, and I'll put up gold on the left side. See what these three do. All right, here's the report, chat. Here's the report. And there's the release right there. It came in at 152, chat. 152. Lower than expected jobs. Lower than expected jobs at 152 versus 173 expected. So far, we're getting bullish movement here, but 152 non-farm employment data, again, versus 175, 173 expected. I'll put this up on screen. Again, hit the subscribe button, chat. We cover this faster than everybody, to be honest. So there's the data right there at the bottom. We already got the data up. We already covering the market reaction to it. We covered that within half a second. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're caught up. And the data came in lower than expected. Markets are moving up some here, chat. And again, I think the market wants less economic growth. I think lower than expected is an optimistic thing for inflation right now. Look at gold shoot up. Again, Q moving up. Nvidia moving up. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move, so it certainly doesn't mean it's going to hold. But overall, initially the markets reacted positively to this report, but it's kind of an underwhelming reaction. Later on today, guys, we do have the Bank of Canada interest decision. We've got services PMI as well. So rate cuts are working. Well, we're not cutting rates. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Rate increases. Yeah, so keeping interest rates high is discouraging spending. CrowdStrike. All right, guys, Nvidia at 1179s here. The Q at 457s, chat. So we are having positive, optimistic signs for this report. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how big their news is. What this really shows is economic weakness, which is good. We want lower economic reports because of inflation problems, right? We need to get inflation under control. The Fed's keeping interest rates high in order to do that. I think next week with CPI will be very, very interesting. So next week we have consumer price index data. It's going to be a very interesting report to see what happens, chat. A very interesting report for CPI tomorrow or next week. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out Apex. Apex is a sponsor of mine. And remember, I might be terrible at this stuff. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable. If you lose, always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly. We do trade off stream. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. All that good stuff. Check out my sponsor, though. Apex, if you want to learn to day trade, there's no better way than a funded account program. If you put up your own money, you're probably going to lose it because almost all day traders, especially in the beginning, lose money. I lost like $4,000 in the first couple weeks of my day trading journey. And so most day traders lose. It's just an inevitable thing for most traders. You're going to lose money in the beginning. It makes no sense with that in mind. In that context, it makes absolutely no sense to risk thousands of dollars learning to day trade. It makes no sense. It's just not a reasonable thing to do. Most day traders lose. Instead, try a funded account program in futures. In the futures market, I can literally day trade the QQQ price action. What the Q tracks is the NQ. If I look at that, same price action here. Same price action, but there's no PDT rule on this left side. No PDT rule. It's basically the same price action. If I zoom out, you'll see it's very similar. There's actually better liquidity in futures. And if you look at Nvidia, for instance, right? Very similar pattern. Very similar pattern to Nvidia right here. Look. Very similar. But there's no PDT rule if I trade this middle one in futures. I can buy market, sell market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks, but there's no PDT rule. And so a great way to learn how to trade. If you look at my trading, I am up thousands of dollars over the last couple months. And I'm about to take a withdrawal, hopefully, from them. I'm about to request a withdrawal from them. So I'm up about $3,000 in this account. This is last month in May. I'm up about $3,000. So we're about to take a withdrawal from them. So what Apex does is they give you a demo and test your skill with a demo account first. If you could pass the test with a demo account, they fund you the same amount. The base one is $25K. So if you make $1,500 in profit on the demo without losing $1,500 first and following their rules, they fund you $25K with a 90% split. So if I make $10K once I'm funded, I keep 9 of that. They keep 1,000 since they're funding me that money. For the time being, you can get the $250K challenge for only $18 after tax, $16 before tax, which means if you pass it, you get $250K in funding with a 90% split, and they pay out millions. They've paid out almost $100 million in traders payouts. So a great way to learn how to day trade. They're one of the most legit in the world. And if you lose, it's not the end of the world. If you lose the base one, you're out 20-something bucks. If you lose the 250K challenge, where if you pass it, you get 250K in funding, you're out $18. So it's not the end of the world, but if you pass it, you still get a 90% split. So it's similar to putting the money up yourself. A great way to learn how to trade. Here's the link. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. They are a sponsor. I'm biased. You want to confirm all this stuff with them. They are a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. So of course I'm biased in their favor because they pay me money. But again, it really is a great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. And if you're a good trader and you want to get started for a much cheaper amount, you know, try them out. Even if you look at real-time data typically costs anywhere between $30 and $50 a month. On these accounts, you get real-time data included. So even if you're looking at just a paper account with real-time data, the value is there. Yeah, so again, we got a big pullback on the NASDAQ, a big pullback on the Q. You know, you can still see Nvidia in this left chart here. It's at 1170s. Why are people so bearish? Fear sitting at all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, the way I look at things is like, look, if the market goes like this, I'm not really trying to buy it, usually because we get pullbacks afterwards. So if the market goes like this or does something like this, I'm usually waiting for a dip to buy it here and then ride the bounce back and try to take advantage of that kind of stair-step pattern. You know, that's usually what I'm trying to do. I think rookie traders end up doing this, where they see a big gap down and they say, oh no, it's weak. You know, and then a lot of the time it's going to rebound back up and do this. And so if you buy it at the lows, you got a good little edge. Rookie traders do the same thing, where a stock gaps up really big. They start buying it at highs, and then when it corrects, they say, oh, the market's rigged. What happened? Right? I think it's much better to, you can piggyback off of strength, but you got to wait for dips. I should have kept my short here on the Q. We would have made money. But you can piggyback off of strength. You just got to wait. Like, you shouldn't buy at highs. You got to wait for dips. Buy those dips, bounce back up, you know. In the end, if you want to make the biggest edge you can, invest in dollar cost average into the S&P or the NASDAQ long term. You're almost certain to make money if you can hold long enough. Alright, so again, Q in the market overall is mostly flat from the non-farm employment change report. Again, most day traders lose money, chat, so understand almost all day traders lose. Doesn't matter who you follow, what course you take. Most day traders lose money, right? So always understand that, chat. I always try to be honest about that because that's just the truth, right? The people who act like if you buy their course, you could all of a sudden be a millionaire student. Millionaire students, guys. Look at me donate to building schools overseas, chat. Like, come on now. There's just a lot of predatory behavior. And again, I do this to make money. I have sponsors. You know, I make money doing this, of course. Everybody on YouTube mostly does it to make money. But I do this to make money. I'm certainly biased in my sponsors' favor because they pay me money, you know. CPI is next week. So next week we have CPI. Define negative. So he says, is this news negative? I think this news shows less economic growth, which could be a good or bad thing depending on which way you look at it. If you look at it in the lens of inflation as a worry, then this news is good news because it means less economic growth and ultimately less spending, which equals less inflation problems. If you're looking at it in terms of the economy, this data means less economic growth, which could be seen as a negative if you're worried about recessions and depressions. I don't think we're anywhere near recessions or depressions, but you know, this does show less economic growth for sure in the non-farm employment data. Most day traders lose. Why do you think that is? I think because day trading takes a very specific type of personality to make money on, and most people do not have that type of personality. I think day trading is marketed to traders as some get-rich-quick scheme. Buy my course and you can make millions of dollars. Look at all my millionaire students. Like, you got a lot of just guru nonsense out there. Like, again, you got some people who promote penny stock garbage.
They sell courses and mentorship programs. You know, they act like they're your mentor, but they got 1,000 other people that have bought the exact same course. If you think they're really your mentor, you know, of course not. You know, again, you got some penny stock gurus that made money earlier in the early 2000s off of newsletter pumps, and they made a bunch of money from it. And now that loophole in the newsletters is closed. You can't make money like that anymore, but they're still marketing their mentorship program to traders, acting like, you know, some of them are even like, hey, I don't even trade anymore. I just like teaching, guys. It's like, okay, so you're not trading, right? You made all your money 20 years ago when markets were different. You're not trading now, and you're teaching people a bunch of publicly available strategies that you're selling to them for thousands of dollars a month. It's just ridiculous, right? You got a lot of that type of stuff out there. And so I think you got a lot of people that think they're going to get rich quick, right? They put up huge money in the beginning. They risk thousands and thousands of dollars in the beginning. And it's one of the reasons I think these funded account programs are valuable, because again, most day traders are going to lose. Most day traders are going to lose these funded account programs as well, right? That's just the truth. Most day traders lose. It's cheaper to lose a funded account program than to put the money up yourself. But the problem is that they're marketed to traders, and new traders are really susceptible to this, where if you're struggling financially, or maybe you're kind of not where you want to be in life, right? And somebody comes along and they say, hey guys, if you buy this course or this mentorship program, you could next month start making tens of thousands of dollars a month, right? Everybody will look at you like you're a stock market expert, and you could ride off into the sunset, right? So they basically lie to traders. And traders are desperate to get out of the situation that they're in, right? So they kind of ignore the red flags. They buy the course. And again, confirmation bias is such a strong thing that, like, you know, if I spend, and I've said this many times, but I'm going to repeat it because I think it's important for traders specifically to hear, and I think it's going to save traders money, right? Like, if I spend $3,000 on a mentorship program, you know, in my mind, I'm desperate to believe it was worth it, right? In my mind, I'm desperate to believe it was a justifiable purchase, right? I'm desperate to believe that it had value because I've spent so much of my freaking money on it, right? Of course I want to believe it has value. And so because of that confirmation bias, traders ignore a lot of red flags, right? The course could be the worst course you could ever have. It could be nonsense, generic, publicly available content that they just recycled and sold you in a course. But some people it's gonna be such a hard thing to accept that it's not the real value that they wanted, that they are going to just act like it was the greatest course ever, right? Some of them even start looking at these guys like they're actual celebrities, when of course they're not. And you know, they just kind of lie to themselves. Sometimes they even try to drag other people into it, like, oh, this is the greatest course ever. Buy my course, buy my service, or buy these guys' service. They said they helped me so much. Some of them even start lying about their own gains and then start to act like gurus themselves, right? So you see some of them even start to pretend like they are now millionaires when they're not, and start to act like they are now, you know, the next guru, and it starts this cycle. You see it a lot with penny stocks more than any other market, right? Penny stock guru day traders are where you see it the most, but I think it happens in every market. It's one of the reasons I try to, like, just be real with people and just tell people, hey, I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. I'm not selling a course. I'm not selling a service myself. I'm not claiming to be any of that stuff, and I kind of give everything I have away for free. We mostly cover economic data. I'm not even claiming to be a good day trader, you know. So we got the Bank of Canada interest rate decision at 9:45 market time. We also have services PMI for May at 9:45. ISM services PMI drops at 10 though. That's the bigger services release. Yeah. And so again, going back to the original question, which is why do most day traders lose? Most day traders lose because they have unreasonable expectations towards what it is. They end up risking way too much money in the beginning, losing that money, and then saying this is rigged and never doing it again, right? The better move is to trade very, very small in the beginning, paper trade, and when you do trade real money, you know, make $20 a day. Most platforms, you can either use a funded account platform and get started for very cheap and just trade small, have some pressure. Learn how to trade under pressure is the skill you need to build. And some day traders can make money, you know, and for them, they'll have a skill they'll have for the rest of their life if they can stick with it. Kind of. Market changes though, so you're gonna always have to update your skills. But yeah, I think if you want to be a good day trader, never quit your job, never take lending. I wouldn't buy a course, to be honest, either. Most courses are nonsense publicly. Again, you can find most data available for free on the internet. There's a lot of good free resources, so I would just stick with those. And but again, that's my bias because I give stuff away for free. In the end, though, just if somebody's promising you if you buy their course that you can make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month, I would just avoid it. Anybody that sensationalizes how easy trading can be, or exaggerates or embellishes how easy trading can be, is usually a red flag, right? Like, it's not easy. Day trading is incredibly difficult. Most people are going to lose at it. It doesn't matter who you take, any of that stuff. Most traders are going to lose. And in the beginning, especially, the more money you put out in the beginning, the more likely you are to lose more money, you know? So just trade small and safe in the beginning is the best advice I can give. And again, I say this over and over again on this channel because it's the truth. So just be smart. So yeah, we didn't have any economic data that just came out. We do have services PMI dropping later. Yeah, I'm checking back up on the chat. Most day traders lose because they don't use risk management. Yeah, for sure. Okay, but Michael Edwards is a good mentor. I mean, I don't know all these mentors. Maybe, bro. I don't know who that is. Maybe. Again, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not knocking your mentor. You know, again, I think a lot of people spend so much time, energy, and stuff into these guys that, like, if somebody like me comes along and they say, hey, it might not have been worth it, that might freak people out. Like, again, I'm attacking dreams here, you know? They might not like it. But, you know, and again, you got some guys that are good. You know, you got some guys that are legitimate. But you got a lot of other ones that are not. And so my bias is I just avoid them all. And of course, if you ask them, they're going to say, oh, well, John just sucks as a trader or whatever, you know. Again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Okay. If somebody's really that good at day trading, they're going to show you their broker statement every single month without fail. Because what better credibility building tool is there than showing you their broker statement every single freaking month, right? If somebody's selling a course, why not build your credibility? Show people how much money you make day trading. You know, there was no reason not to, and only good things that can come from it. You know why almost nobody shows you their broker statement every month? They might show you their broker statement one month, but again, that means that's probably the one month they were really making money. The rest of the months are probably red. And so, you know, there's a reason you don't see a lot of day traders out here showing you their broker statements every month. Dude, look at my indicator, bro. So I built this indicator here. Again, I'm not going to tell you guys, but look at it, bro. Look at how accurate this is. So here's a 1 minute chart. Hold on. Yeah, this is the Q. I'm trying to see when I did this. Okay, this is it right here. Yeah, look at this indicator, bro. So I built this indicator on using AI. Look at how accurate this thing can be. So again, we bought it. Like, look at that sell signal. This is really why I took that short earlier. And again, look at this buy signal here. Nice. Sell signal there, followed through. Buy signal down here worked. You know, it's a 4 for 4. I'll have to keep testing it here. I got to see whether it repaints, but it's a longer term move, I think. This is a 1 minute chart, so usually they're less accurate. But that one worked too. Look at that. I'll have to keep going back and test it. Look at that one. That one worked as well. On a 1 minute chart too. I have to keep testing these. Look at this bottom. How would you rate fundamental versus technicals? Fundamentals are going to trump technicals most of the time, excluding extension. Extension's powerful, and that impacts everything, even with fundamentals there. But outside of extension, you could have the best technical indicator in the world, but if high inflation data shows up, market's probably dropping. I don't care what kind of bullish indicator you got. If unemployment spikes to 6%, market's probably going down. If CPI data comes in at 9% versus 5% expected, market's going down. Doesn't matter what kind of technical indicator is there. And so I look at technicals, but again, fundamentals are going to trump technicals. They're going to be more influential than technicals. Fundamentals, you'll typically see, like technicals, you very rarely see a move where we're kind of boom, you know, Like, that's very rare with technicals. Fundamentals, you see this all the time, where you get you chop, big release, big move. You see that all the time. You don't see it with technicals as much. And so fundamentals are simply more powerful than technicals. And I think a lot of people make technicals the only part of their game where they don't look at fundamentals, and so their bias is on the technical side. So they want to believe that technicals are more important or whatever. But it depends, right? It really depends. I'm not knocking anybody or anything, but 200% win rate. Yeah, I mean, David, there's no way for me to vet these guys. Again, I think a lot of people get really wrapped up in their mentors, and that's great, but it's too hard for me to vet, and I can't, like, even, you'd be surprised. You hear people say, oh, these guys are legit. You go look at the guys, they are the sleaziest penny stock gurus ever. It happens a lot, and so anytime somebody promotes a mentor, I'm just going to delete the comment. It's not worth it. It's too hard for me to vet that stuff. I agree that these data releases are powerful movers, but to what extent can you have edge from them? I mean, there's no edge. Fundamentals are not just data releases. Fundamentals are just company health, right? Like, that's what fundamentals mean. It's like company and economic health. So an example is that over time, if a company reports higher and higher revenue and higher EPS, right, earnings per share, margins, over time, it's most likely to go up, right? Long term, that movement is going to be on the upside and vice versa. And so you could have good technicals. Technicals can be great, but again, company health is going to trump that long term, is what I mean. Short term as well, if it's a big economic release, like a big fundamental release, it's going to move more than technicals. But again, it's going to vary. I think traders I've said this before, so again, I'm just warning, I've said this before, but there's a very famous movie. I can't remember what it's called. It's about a guy who gets really wrapped up in technical algorithms in the stock market. It's from like the early 2000s or the 90s, and he ends up going crazy finding patterns where patterns aren't really there, right? And I think technicals, like, there's so many different technical patterns and indicators and stuff like that I think some traders, not all of them, but I think some traders really get wrapped up in technicals, and they start doing the same thing. They start seeing patterns when patterns aren't there, and building strategies and patterns when patterns aren't there, and when an edge is not there. And so I think you got to use a calculated balance of both technicals and fundamentals to have good strategies. I'm more of a swing trader. I make most of my money swing trading and investing, so I make most of my money with a middle ground of technicals and fundamentals, but I'm certainly not pure technicals. And again, you got people that show up to the stream, and again, I see them all the time, and you'll have a big economic release like CPI. I'm just going to use CPI as an example. Say CPI shows up at 8% versus 5% expected. The market's going to dump, right, in that situation. The market's just going to crash down. But you got some of these technical guys that show up at the same time, and they're like, yeah, you see that dump at 8:30? That dump is because the 9 EMA crossed over the 12 SMA and hit the, such and such indicator, and now the market just dove 10%. And it's sitting there like, no, it didn't. The market's down because inflation data came out higher than expected. The market's down because unemployment spiked. The market's down because economic data showed up worse. And so a lot of people try to, like, I don't know, a lot of technical predictors try to justify their predictions with everything. But most of the time it has more so to do with fundamentals than it does technicals. When you have big major corrections, major drops, major earnings, like, those are just more influential because they're actual company health and economy health reports, Yeah, it might be Pi, Jamal, that might be right. Yeah, dude, I see them a lot, bro. I've seen those people, like, dude, it's not just one person. I've seen people like that all the time. where like maybe they make a buy call out. They're like, yeah, you should buy this here, bro, or buy that here, or, you know, look at this indicator, the 9 going over the 12, you know. And it's like, all right. And then economic data shows up and it just drastically dumps the market down. And then they try to take credit for it like it's some technical move, and it's like, of course it's not. So you're trying to tell me this technical move happened exactly at 8:30, exactly when worse inflation data showed up. Yet it's not the inflation data that did it. It's your technical 9-12 crossover. Like, get out of here, bro. Like it's too tunnel vision for me. You got to look at the big picture. I only use VWAP. I keep going off 2 and 3. It would throw me off. Yeah, the volume weighted average price is very simple, but sometimes simplicity is king. I like the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA, same thing here. If you look at the 200, like even if I pull out this chart, right? Like here's the NASDAQ futures contract. Sometimes simplicity is king. If you look at what works on this chart, 200 EMA, 200 EMA, 200 EMA. Say you bought it every time it dipped to the 200 EMA and you gave yourself a decent stop loss, right? Bounce. It's not going to work every time. I'm not telling you to just randomly buy it at the 200 EMA, but I don't hate it. And again, I certainly use that as pullback levels. Even if you look at Nvidia here, 200 EMA, 200 EMA, you know, even if you look at the QQQ yesterday, 200 EMA, 200 EMA, you know, 200 EMA. So if you can get an edge from it, I think it's easier to find that edge. But again, everybody's different there. There's technical patterns that certainly are powerful. You just gotta be smart with them. Yeah, even look at the Q just now. Look, Q 200 EMA right here. Bounce. Look, Q 200 EMA. Bounce. News catalyst. Yeah. They just have more influence. Again, generally, in economic, like, generally, if you see a move like this, like a big percentage increase or decrease, it's almost always fundamental in some way. Either economic reports, earnings, catalyst related, like good or bad news. In this case, bad news. That's almost always the case. Technicals, it could be the best 9 or 12 crossover ever. It's very, very, very rarely going to make any type of huge move like this. Like, that's so rare that a technical crossover or anything like that causes that much of a reaction in anything, you know, that it's just not, you know, you just got to be smart. Like, you might get bounces like this. Like, here, again, here's the 200 EMA, 200 EMA. You might get like pullbacks to it and bounces, but it's never something like it hits the 200 EMA and it goes like this or like that type of move and then consolidates. It's just not how it works. You don't have enough traders watching it to cause a move like that. And with that in mind, like, the indicators that work are the indicators that have the most people watching them. The reason the 200 EMA works is because so many people watch the 200 EMA. Same thing with the volume weighted average price. So many people watch the VWAP that, you know, you get a consolidation of buys right at that level, so it's more likely to move up. But yeah, I'm waiting. We're probably gonna start trading in the next 5 minutes. We're kind of letting the market hang out. We do have a lot of economic reports coming out later today as well. So we got CPI, or no, I'm sorry, we got here, let me put up GameStop here. We have services PMI data coming out later. All right, guys. So again, here's my account. I'm up about $3,000 in this account, about 3,000 in my funded account. So I'm at the point where I could take a withdrawal if I wanted to from Apex. What do you guys think I should do? Should I withdraw or should I just keep trading? Yeah, we'll cover the Bank of Canada rate. I don't need the money, to be completely honest. Like the $2,000 withdrawal is not gonna be anything that's life changing for me, or even like, it's not really gonna make any difference. No offense. Yeah. Yeah. I'll leave this account for now and we'll figure it out. Okay. I'm gonna short this one contract at the NASDAQ. See if we get a quick little pullback here. We're right around resistance levels. Again, you can see this is day trading futures, so it's very similar to day trading stocks. I'm gonna add one contract to this. We're gonna play around on this and take some risks, because I got a couple accounts here. I don't remember how many positions. I think okay, yeah, so I can take 10 max. This is a challenge account, so this is not an actual account. So again, if you see me lose big here, it's not. This isn't my funded account. So this is a funded account program on Apex. They give you a demo. Again, they test your skill with a demo account first. If you can pass the test with a demo, they fund you between 25 to 300,000. This is a 50K challenge. We're also, again, my other account that we're up $3,000 on is an actual 50K funded account. But here, let me see. Or I might need 20 trading days in the account. Let me see. Okay, I need to trade a couple more days to get this one. Trade Neo. We got Lululemon earnings today. Neo. I don't like Neo as a company. Too unsure of. A lot of these EV brands are gonna fail, and I just don't trust them like that. I'm gonna limit my size. I took a 20% of the position off just to limit my risk. And we'll let the rest roll. We can also add back, fix the average. I guess we can. Again, sorry, we got a lot of these challenge accounts that we're not actually using, so that's what I'm playing on right now. This is why I'm just kind of YOLOing into this account. And I think we're at the top of the range, so if I give it time, we could get a breakdown and get funded in one trade, but maybe not. Yeah, y'all hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. All right, there we go. All right, take a little bit more off here. take another. So we got 5 contracts. We're up about 300 in this one on the day. We were patient. I thought we had a good little level there. If we get a bounce, we'll add right to it. Looking to attack choppiness because it's the week ahead of CPI, so I think this week we might have a little bit more choppy behavior. So you can kind of see we're adding to a winning trade. All right, so we got 10 contracts here. I might be wrong. Do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. Do not copy me. A lot of this is going to depend on Nvidia. Nvidia is very flat. I think we might come back down a little bit on the SPY. At least the SPY looks bearish, but at the same time, we're ripping up. Yeah, so I see BB here talking, and again, now BB, it's all good. I appreciate you talking. As long as you don't try to sell anybody on a course or mentorship program, or try to like send somebody to some mentorship program or guru, or ask people for money. So again, you're completely welcome to talk and give advice here, BB. I mean, do whatever you got to do, right? But just for everybody out there, if anybody tries to send anybody to DM each other or ask for money or sends you to a course or promotes their own stuff, I just have to be careful, because a lot of the time we do get that. And again, if that's not what you're doing, BB, it's all good, brother. It's all good, man. Yeah, so again, what you see a lot of the time, and again, we're just kind of YOLOing this account because we've got a bunch of these challenge accounts. But again, what you see a lot is you see people, they'll promote themselves, and then all of a sudden they'll say, oh, well, kindly message me here, and then they try to sell you on a course or whatever it is. Yeah, all good, BB. It's all good then. As long as you're not trying to sell anything, it's all good, brother. Yeah, and again, it's all love here, bro. You just got to understand my bias, which is like running a community like this. Like something that I'll see a lot is I'll see people like give advice. Sometimes they're actually just talking to themselves, right? So sometimes you got people that are really just talking to themselves in different accounts, right? To try to give themselves credibility. And then they'll be like, wow, can I message you? And they'll be like, yeah, you can. And then they'll start messaging people, and then they'll start plugging their content, plugging their course, plugging their service. You see it a lot, right? So in that situation, I just have to, if that's not what you're doing, again, it's all good. It's all love. I appreciate the, chatting here. No, I don't think I did a poll today. So let me put one up. Yeah, I'm not saying that's you, BB. I'm just, again, I'm telling you guys why. No, I don't think I did a poll today. So I'm telling you guys why I have that bias as well. People get weird with the internet, dude. People get weird with the internet. I told one guy that I knew in real life, right? I told one guy, hey, I don't want to do this forever. Maybe one day I'll get a co-host and they'll run it or whatever. I was like, because the internet can be mean, man. It's just freaking ridiculous. Like people create fake accounts, all that stuff. Very shortly after, I had a bot show up on my stream promoting the person that I told it to, talking about how I should make them co-host and how I sucked. Like, just people can get weird. Just strange, man. All right, so we're going to do a poll today. I think the best question we can ask, and it looks like I'm going to lose this challenge account. It's all right. This is challenge account's like $20. Does the market currently want more or less economic growth in jobs, manufacturing, or we'll just say in jobs, payrolls, etc. More economic growth, less economic growth. I think it's a good question, right? Does the market currently want more or less economic growth in jobs, payrolls? Yeah, for sure, sleep. I think that makes sense, brother. All right. Sorry, I'm late for class. Sit in the corner, bro. Think about what you've done. Nah, it's all good. But yeah, the reason I bring up stories like that about the guy who started sending fake accounts talking about make him co-host is because that influences my bias with like people commenting for sure. You know, people creating fake accounts. Again, I don't know what they thought. Like, I'm never gonna like, look, to be completely honest, I make way too much money doing this for me to stop because some people were mean to me in the chat, right? Like, I'm never gonna like stop doing this for that reason. Now, I might make enough to where I don't want to do this anymore, but that's probably a long road out. So I guess the point is like, haters keep hating because it's not going to make me stop. You're going to have to keep watching this channel grow larger and larger and larger. And again, it's going to burn when you see it. The tension. Yeah. What's your thoughts on potential 10% correction running up to this year? I think it's possible, Tanner. I think the market's up, what, like 35% over the last year and a half. And so I think, you know, it's certainly possible we could correct back down a little bit first. I don't think we're going to have a market crash or anything, but I think we could have a correction. I think it's probably time for a correction. The last major correction that we got here. Yeah, pulling up the queue here. The last major correction that we got, like we got a little mini correction here back in like July, was about a year ago. So the last major correction was about a year ago where we dropped from 380s down to 340s, right? That was the biggest correction that we had at the time. That's a $40 drop. Yeah, so that's roughly 10%. A little bit over 10%. So we had this little 10% correction here. And then we had this thing, which was from 450s down to 420s. Yeah, so I mean, that was less than 10%. Then we had this little 8% drop or whatever percentages that is. But that was our last correction, which was, again, earlier this year in March. So, I think we could have another correction. I'm not sure, you know. I don't think it's terrible either. I think the market needs pullbacks eventually. I don't know if it's necessarily going to mean the market crashes, but I think the market needs pullbacks eventually. All right, we're back. I don't know what happened to the stream. My bad, chat. We're here, though. I know the stream dropped. We're here, though. We're back. Let me put up the screen. All right, so we ended up losing this account. It's all right. We got a bunch of these accounts. That's why we'll probably... I'm already funded in a bunch of different ones as well, so I'm just kind of getting these accounts ready to be funded. So I can take larger risks is kind of what I'm doing. So if you're wondering why I'm taking like a huge loss, this is not an actual account. Yeah, we've just got so many of these right now that Let me make sure this is the right account. Okay, yep, that's right. I want to make sure I'm not doing it on my account that I'm up $3 grand in. All right, I still think I'm gonna short. I'll probably start smaller and then see if we get a correctional pullback here. Is it hard to pass Apex? No, it's pretty easy. You gotta be willing to reset a couple times. Like, to be honest, passing these challenges is easy. You know, I think you should trade much different when you're trying to get funded versus when you're actually funded. Like, this is just a challenge account, so I think we're extended on the upside, so I can essentially short, and if we get a big correction, I can get funded on one big correction, right? Like, that's all I'm doing here. And again, if I have to reset a couple, it's okay. It's easier for me to just lose or win on these accounts and then not have to pay them every month and have a couple on standby funded accounts, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can get up to 20 Raven, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's something super high up there. Yeah, I think we're right around the top. So again, I'm just going to take my other risk here, see if we reject. GameStop did dip under 20, under the previous close. So GameStop technically red on the day. And I mean, this is good for my equities account. So we're actually green in equities. We'll do a little bit more realistic trading closer to the open. Yeah, I used ChatGPT. I saw ChatGPT down yesterday as well. Well, markets just keep on pushing. Again, I don't know how many of these accounts I have, but I've got a lot. We're up. Home Depot. I don't know if I should take some profit off. I'm trying to see when is earnings day or dividend day for some of these. Love you.
Love you.
Have a good day. All right, so GameStop up. We'll see if it holds. I'm gonna put spam protection on. I didn't know I could ban, so my big streams it'll look good. No, it's all the same account. You don't have to create new passwords for them. Guys, it's time to be bullish. Hey, bud. Have a good day, man. Like the shirt, bro. Love you, dude. Have a good day, man. Yeah, guys, we got a couple minutes left. Oh, we got services PMI today. I forgot. All right, so all right, chat. So today we got ISM services. So we got ISM PMI data. What else we got? Nvidia's been shooting up today as well. Yeah, that's good. All right, guys, so we got ISM services PMI. Non-manufacturing. All right, chat. We do have services PMI data dropping at 10 a.m. guys, 10 a.m. Oh, did I lose this one too? I'm not even paying attention. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna wait and use the market oracle on the next one, because the guy, again, this is one of the reasons with just continuing to add to trades is that, you know, and number one, I got a bunch of these. All right, that one's good. We're funded on that one. That one's good. Here's another one. Okay, yeah, we got a bunch of these. Okay, all right, we're back. I'm just gonna wait now. And again, I gotta trade a little bit of my actual funded account today, so that's probably what we'll start doing here. Man, the Q and the markets have just churned up though. Look at that. Wow. Make sure we're in sub only mode. Okay, good, we are. Yeah, y'all hit that subscribe button, chat. We're pushing towards 150K. Brother, no. I'm speaking facts. I don't know if you understand what a fact is, bro. To be honest, I lost nowhere near $4,000. Again, as I said before I took those trades, I shouldn't have to clarify. Most people understand. These are challenge accounts. So this is not real money, bro. I did not just lose $4,000. You think if I lost $4,000, bro, I'd be sitting here casually like la 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 la? Of course not. Again, look. These are challenge accounts, okay? I told you guys beforehand, specifically this, that I had a lot of them sitting there that I'm getting charged monthly subscriptions for that I'm not using. And so I'm just going to kind of swing for the fences, see if I can get funded on them. And if not, I'm down both of those accounts that I lost just now. Again, I'm not even really watching it. I'm sitting here doing work in the background. Both of those accounts cost me maybe $40, bro. Maybe $40. We can try to knock my trades. Again, in terms of toss on this account, this is about a $100,000 account, right? I am up thousands of dollars on the year in actual money. Thousands of dollars on the year in actual money. Swing trading and investing, you know. These accounts here on the left side, this was a challenge account. I could switch to my actual, and on the actual one that I'm funded on, the one with actual funding, I'm up thousands on that one as well, brother. And I can show you the stats if you want to see that one too. But yeah, man, I mean, taking some losses out of context and then acting like I lost 4K, come on. Oh, I'm definitely making way more money from YouTube. Way more money from YouTube. Of course I am. I mean, be mad about it because of course I am. Show it? Okay. All right, so here's my 50K funded account. All right. Here's my 50K funded account on the same platform, Apex. All right, let me go back. So this is the account that I'm currently on. My profits from mid-April to today. Oh wait, sorry, I got the date wrong. Let me see. Today, from January, February, March, April 4. Whoa, here, I gotta refresh this. All right, give me a second. I'm pulling it up. Okay, so here's my PA funded account on Apex. This is it from see, that's weird. It started off here. Look, the easiest way to do it is that this account started off at 50K. It's currently at $52,840. So I'm up $2,840 on that one. If you want to look at my stock current portfolio on my current holdings, I am up $805 on my stock portfolio, and I'm up about $76 on the day on this. This is TOS. This is this account right here. So I mean, yeah. Let me see if I can get this to work now. Hold on. Look, here's last month my stats on the Apex 50K funded account. I shouldn't have to do this, but like it's okay. What else? Let me see. Yeah, so here's my stats over the last month of trading on Apex. The 50K funded account, we are running 69% accuracy. Here's my profit graph over time. Total P&L for last month. This is last month in May. was about $2,000, and then this month so far we're up about $840 or about $800 net this month in the last 5 days in June is what it is. So yeah, that's my results. Also, so yeah, and again, look, like this picture right here is from my stock account. Again, here's my actual like current P&L, and this is what I'm up on the day right here. Net $803.87. And again, that's a very small amount. We've liquidated a lot of our positions over the last couple days and weeks. On the year, we're up thousands of dollars on this account. This is just what's currently left in my current holdings, which is about $800 in profit. Right, so I mean, it varies. I'm not claiming to be the most profitable YouTuber in the world. My channel's called Beginner Trading. Like, everything is free. We don't sell a course. I don't sell a service. I don't even claim to be good. But I'm great on the year, you know. I'm up thousands on the year, you know. And so I can say that. All right, anyways, back to these accounts. I guess we'll keep trading our PA account because we need to get a couple more days. We need to trade 3 days more to get a withdrawal. Although I'm gonna probably trade micro positions today just to get those 3 days out the way. I think I'm probably just gonna trade micro positions. All right, yeah, we'll take micro positions. Yeah. Crickets all of a sudden, huh? I'm pretty sure it's the same troll that showed up yesterday, because he uses the word facts a lot. But again, dude, imagine watching somebody that you dislike just desperately looking to trip them up every single day, you know? Like, you gotta feel bad for that type of guy. You know what I mean? Like, I guess, you know, it might be therapeutic for you because of insecurity or whatever, but listen, man, it's all right. Like, let it out. I'm here, bro. I'm here. But you know, most people here pity that behavior, but like, it's all good. Anyways, the Q is continuously pushed up today. I don't know what I want to do with Nvidia. You know, I'm in Nvidia. I bought it a couple days ago, or I bought it a couple weeks ago. Pre-earnings. So I did buy Nvidia pre-earnings, and I'm up big percentages in it. I don't know what to do with it now. Are you bearish or bullish today? I don't know, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, I appreciate it, ASAP. Yeah, I mean, of course we make money from YouTube. Anybody on here is making money. You know. Again, I'll say the same argument I give every day. If I'm a mechanic and I start a mechanic forum and that mechanic forum starts to get 500,000 hits a month, pretty soon I'm going to make way more money on that forum than I ever did as a mechanic. Does it mean I'm wrong for that? Of course not. The only people that complain about that are people that are insecure about not making money, you know? And so, of course, we make money. You guys will be okay. I'm trying to take this cough drop, dude. I'm really tempted to eat a cough drop here. I appreciate it, Darren. Thanks, man. I'm YOLOing Nvidia today till 1200 and then closing my own positions. Yeah, again, I think it's possible that we do get a correction soon. So we got a contractor here. All right, but I appreciate it. Darren, thanks, bro. Oh, Pawn banned him. I see. When was that? That must have been how long ago? Okay. Oh, you banned him for 86,000 seconds. How much is that? 86,000 seconds, brother. Hold on. I Okay. 86,000 seconds is 1,433 minutes. Oh, it's a 24-hour ban. Gotcha. Okay. So you're banned for a day. He's just going to create another account and do something else. Yeah. All right. Oh, also, I gotta turn this Wi-Fi off for a second. So it might pause the stream for a second. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. It might pause the stream for a second when I disconnect this. Okay. So stick around. Don't leave. The stream didn't go out. I just have to do this. So give me a second. All right. There we go. It doesn't look like it affected the stream very much. You were in his head rent free all of yesterday. It's got to be like, dude, it's obviously the same person. And so whoever it is, or whomever it is, actually, I don't think whomever is the correct usage. It would be whoever it is. You know, they got some problems, but you know, thus is life, I guess. Yeah, I told you he'd create another account. There he is. Q up to 458. All right, guys, we got 9 minutes until the market open. 9 minutes. Now, remember, chat, today we have services PMI going live. The big one is at 10 a.m., but we do have one that drops at 9:45, right? So we have regular services PMI at 9:45. It's expected at 54.4. We have ISM services. We also have the Bank of Canada interest rate decision that goes live as well, right? So we got both of those releases. I don't think they're big enough releases to cause choppiness in the market leading into that. I do think we've pushed up a lot leading into it, though. So I do think we pushed up a lot. How you know it's him? There's a couple reasons I know. I'm not going to be too specific to give away, but there's a few very obvious reasons. It's the same person. What's the guess on Canada? I mean, most of the time these come in as expected. So it's expected at 4.7%. I'm assuming it's going to come in there. So they're expecting a 25 basis point cut. So Canada's going to cut rates today, potentially. The top 3 most opinionated facts in the world. Yeah, I mean, it's slang. Like, facts is modern slang. The problem is that he seems to not understand what facts actually are, you know? So, like, giving an opinion and then saying that's facts is not actually facts, right? Like, giving opinion out is subjective, which is the opposite of facts. It's opinion-based, you know? Sorry, I'm talking to Carol. We got contractors here at my house right now, so I'm trying to deal with them. Nvidia still testing the highs of the day. So Nvidia highs, like look at Nvidia. So Nvidia is one of the other ones. GameStop is mostly flat, but Nvidia is sitting at 1185s. Yeah, they'll be like, John sucks. That's facts. It's like, that's actually not facts. That's subjective. That's like me saying, I like chocolate cake. Facts. No, not facts. Liking chocolate cake is opinion-based, subjective. You know. But it's alright. The point is, it's slang, you know. Did I freeze? I don't think I froze. I just turned my camera off. I was talking to my wife. We got contractors here. I don't know. Did I freeze? I might have. All right, guys. Opening bell in 3.5 minutes. Yeah, so I did post the link, Calvin. It's called Chart Prime. Here's the link right here, brother. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased in their favor because they pay me money. And so remember, I might be terrible at this stuff and have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything I say. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional. Don't sue me. Understand I do trade off stream. You're certainly not going to see all my trades. Not even claiming to be a good trader. Understand hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations with these funded account programs. I can't guarantee anything or anybody. Confirm it all with them. Not an investment professional. It's one of the reasons my name is called Beginner Trading. Here's the link. Did y'all freeze again? It doesn't seem like we did. Maybe y'all did. I don't know. Yeah, definitely top 3 worst ever in the world. Well, pineapple doesn't go on pizza. Facts. I don't know. Did we, like, chat? Help me out. Did we freeze again? Or are y'all just talking about me going like this and staying quiet for about a minute? Like, I just went like this and then I muted the mic because I had to talk to my wife or something. So the stream didn't freeze. It's just because my family's here. And my wife wanted to talk to me about, you know, people being here. I got the volume way up. Well, we got contractors here, so I started speaking a little bit more quiet. It's probably what it is. Yeah, I didn't think it froze. Miranda rights. I did forget that. Listen, guys. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. In beginner trading's court of law, you have the right to talk to an attorney for trading advice before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning, to not sue. Beginner trading. Do you understand these rights, chat? Beginner trading's Miranda. You're welcome. All right, look at the NASDAQ rip up here, chat. Look at the Q. QQQ flying up, NASDAQ's flying up, Nvidia's flying up. We're at 1180s. Yeah, stop resisting. Stop it. All right, guys, there's the opening bell. Let's see what the market does. Q ripped up ahead of the open, so let's see if the NASDAQ pulls back. Nvidia down to, Nvidia broke highs right before the open. Is pulling back now, though. I tend to think that Nvidia is going to bounce here, though. I'm going to buy this dip. It's risky. One contract we're going to add to it. I'm not going to add any more to this. I might be wrong, though. We'll see. I think Nvidia could bounce up. It's just so close to the open. It's a very small trade. This is micro. So we're down 40 bucks, 30 bucks. Too quick. We sold half of it. Alright, so we lost 40 bucks. We'll wait. CPI's next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe, is PPI, CPI next week. I might be wrong, though. CPI is Wednesday, CPI, Thursday, PPI. We got the Fed meeting on Wednesday as well, so it's actually a pretty busy week. Nvidia's dumping down here. Look at Nvidia drop. Surprise. Market's bounced back a little bit. Again, I thought we might have choppy behavior. Remember, so that's kind of why I've been trading like I have, but we're bouncing all the way back. The question is, I'm going to short this behavior now. If Nvidia rejects here, it could drag everything back down. A little close to the open to be trading, but we're just kind of playing around with the small size here. There we go. We're slightly green. Now we're red. If Nvidia rejects, which Nvidia doesn't look like it's rejecting, I'm going to take half off and just protect it. Nvidia looks like it's actually breaking over the VWAP though. But we added a little bit to it. All right, took half off there. See, I'm gonna cut this. Nvidia, we made a little bit of money. Nvidia is breaking over this level, so it's just too risky for me to play with, I think. Maybe I could have held it. Hello? Hey, did you set that up? What? Yeah, baby, I don't know why you're taking that car. Alright guys, sorry. Dealing with stuff in the background. GameStop actually ripped up to almost 27s. Usually I would short this pattern, but like I'm just kind of playing around with it. We're gonna add to it and see if we get a choppy day. The economic data is about to come out, so I think we could bounce up and have a little range trade here. Maybe I'm wrong though, who knows? Especially if Nvidia starts to creep up more. There we go. And we took half off there, locked it in. Starting to creep up. Let's see if we get it. Alright, so we just cut it. So we made about 25 bucks over the last few trades. Trading small here. We might add right back to this too. If we dip more, we'll add to it. There we go. Alright, we took half off. We're trading very small because we got economic data coming out in about 7 minutes. Alright, we're out. So again, we made another couple bucks. Scalp it away here. GameStop ripped over 27s. So look at GameStop. We heard some of your combo. Yeah, I mean, again, my wife has a nail in her tire, and she's choosing the car that has the nail in the tire to bring the kids, you know, somewhere. And so I had to kind of get onto her and tell her, like, I can take the tire off and bring the tire in to get fixed instead of her driving around. And it, you know, is what the conversation you just had. Since you guys heard me, it's probably important to hear the context of that conversation. But yeah, I'm not trying to get onto her too much, but like, you know, she gotta make good decisions. Alright, so we did get a bounce back like we thought we would. Nvidia ripped up. So again, attacking that range ahead of economic releases has treated me pretty well. Yeah, that's basically true, Dark Minds. Alright, so look at Nvidia. Nvidia just broke lifetime highs just now. GameStop squeezed up to 2750s as well. Alright guys, we got 20 minutes until the economic data comes out. Or we got 20 minutes until the big economic data comes out. We still got some small economic data dropping today. Or dropping in 5 minutes, but the big one drops later. We're buying this dip again. So we added to it. So we got a little trade here. We'll see if we pop it back up. 3 contracts. There we go. 2 contracts. Took half off. Brought ourselves back to green on the day, kind of scalping a range. Or close to green at least, but it's under the assumption that this doesn't turn. So we're slightly green on the day. We bought ourselves back into green. Attacking that choppy range. Nvidia pulled all the way back to this level though. That's probably the big thing, is Nvidia dipping down. We might add back on this pullback. It's too late now. Can you not hear me? Yeah, we do have the Bank of Canada decision today as well. So we're chopping back up. So buying that dip would have worked. GameStop just popped up to 28. The rate decision is next Wednesday. So yeah, the rate decision is next Wednesday. So we got 3 minutes left here. We're going to short the top of the range now. 2 contracts. Took half off. All right, so we're out. So we just scalped a little bit. We're trading very small. And again, if you want to check out Apex, Apex is a funded account program in futures. This is a funded account we're up about $3,000 on. We're probably about to request a withdrawal. But if you want to check out Apex, again, they give you a demo in futures and they test your skill. You can see how similar this is to day trading stocks. There's no PDT rule in futures. You can buy market, sell market, very similar to day trading stocks. The patterns are very similar as well. And I'm essentially trading the QQQ here. It's the NASDAQ E-mini futures contract, but it moves the same as the Q. And so I can do this in futures with no PDT rule. And again, most day traders lose, right? So if you put up 5K, you're probably going to lose 5K in the beginning. It's a lot cheaper to go this route. You're going to lose less, most likely, at least in my opinion. But again, they're a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money. But it's a lot cheaper to try this out. You still have some pressure. When you're trying to get funded, you got to hit their profit target with a demo first. The base one's 25K. You got to make 1,500 without losing 1,500 on a demo account. And if you can do that, they fund you 25K as long as you follow their rules with a 90% split. And so your risk is noticeably less. For the 25K one, it's like $30. But if you pass it, you get a 90% split. If you lose, you're out $30. For the time being, you can get the 250K challenge for only $18. So $18. And if you pass that one, you get 250K in funding. And Apex is one of the most legit funded programs. They've paid out almost $200 million. And so again, they are a sponsor. I'm biased. There's the link. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. If you want to get the 90% off and the max discount for the 250K challenge, use coupon code BT at checkout. You'll get the discount applied. But yeah, we did dip down. Very choppy range leading into this report. Eventually I'm going to start taking some large size here because this strategy of waiting for economic reports and then trading range chop works really well. It just works really well. And so I think it's probably eventually I'm going to start taking some larger size. GameStop just broke highs as well, almost back up to 29 and 30. Coffee. All right, guys, here's the report. Let's see what the PMI data. So there's PMI data. Markets reacting positively. PMI data showed up at 54.8 as expected for PMI. The Bank of Canada interest rate decision, they did a 25 basis point cut as expected. So again, Canada did a 25 basis point cut from 5 to 4.75. As well as services PMI came in as expected. Sorry, I spilled coffee. Services data came in as expected at 54.8. So again, Bank of Canada did a cut. Services PMI came in at 54.8. S&P Global Composite came in at 54.5. But here's the services PMI release. Again, at 10 a.m. we have a bigger release. But again, the Bank of Canada cuts rates 25 basis points to 4.75 as expected here. So far, that's making the market move up a little bit. It still might be choppy behavior. purpose of the PDT rule. They say it's helping traders, but honestly, it ends up making traders lose way more money. Like, imagine like this, right? Like, something I always say is most day traders lose, right? This is objectively true. Most day traders lose, right? Now, most day traders are good. No new trader has any type of risk management skills for the most part. And so most new traders end up putting, I would say, like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 up and losing the entire account. They end up losing. I know I did. A lot of people I talked to did as well when they first got started. Now imagine instead of putting $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 up, instead you wanted to get around the PDT rule. So you needed $25,000 in a margin account to be able to day trade. Now say you put that up for your first account as well. What do you think is going to happen to that account? That account's going to go as well. So you're causing new traders to lose way more money than they should be risking as a brand new trader. Dude, look at this. Look at that weather, bro. Let me see. The wind is out here today. So yeah, the PDT rule basically causes new traders to lose way more money than they should in the beginning, right? It's worse for traders. They guise it under, oh, we're helping traders, but it's ridiculous. Of course, the best way for evals is not to just YOLO it. Again, for me specifically, I just got a bunch of them that I'm not using, and to be honest, it's relatively insignificant amounts to me. So again, I'm not trade whatever strategy you have the biggest edge in. You know, that's what I would say to do is trade the strategy you have an edge in. You know. John, don't be so cynical. Jamie Dimon has your best interest. Of course he does, bro. You know, the leader of the biggest bank in the world. Yeah. And didn't he retire recently, Jamie Dimon? Yeah, the PDT rule is a ridiculous rule. What it really does, like the reason it lets banks sit on your money and earn more interest over time, which to you it might be peanuts, but to them it's a lot, right? So that's really what it does, is it lets banks sit on your money a little bit longer, you know? All right, guys, we got 10 minutes left. Again, we've stayed in that choppy range. We talked about Nvidia breaking lifetime highs. Nvidia might creep up to 1,200 a share. Also, guys, we got 10 minutes. Check out my other sponsor, a company called Chart Prime. So again, I'm going to preface this with, can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. Test it yourself. My testing might not be accurate. Understand they're a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money. Back test everything with them first. Understand they're a sponsor. I'm biased. All that good stuff. CFTC 4.41, hypothetical core simulator performance. Now, with that said, I was always skeptical of companies like this, but then I actually got to look at their software. Like, look, let's back test this. So look at this. Look at these signals here. These are TradingView indicator custom indicators and signals. So you can use them with anything with a symbol on TradingView. You can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. But again, let's take a look at this here. Like, look how impressive these are. Like, I can test it live. Like, look at this, right? Strong signal here, huge rip up right here. So the signal showed up. Like, let's put it up. The signal showed up here. And then look at the huge rip up you got from it. So that's one that worked. This one definitely worked too. It looks like got a nice little breakdown. Strong signal there worked. This one probably didn't work. So that's one. This one followed through nicely. Look at this sell signal showing up here. Beautiful breakdown. Look at this strong buy signal showing up like hours ago. So again, only one of these that I can see didn't work. Some of the other ones might not have worked. I can't guarantee for sure. That one looks like it worked. That one looks like it worked. But again, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 out of 7, maybe. So that's better than 20%. That's less than 20% that failed that I can see. And so again, you can use this with anything with a symbol, any time frame you want. You can put up an hourly chart and see if it works on an hourly hourly chart. And again, they have oscillators, back tester, screeners. So the back tester will show you when they're working too. But again, look at this hourly chart, right? It's genuinely impressive. Like, look at the hourly chart. So every candle represents an hour. Look at this. Days of red action. Buy signal showed up here. Days of green action. This one was probably wrong, but look at this. Buy signal showed up here. Days. Buy signal showed up here. Days. Sell signal showed up here. Days. Strong buy signal showed up here. Days. Right? So impressive nonetheless. It's like $40 a month. Again, I can't guarantee it's going to work for you, but if you want to check them out, I'll put the link up. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes left. There's the link in chat. So again, Canada cutting rates still in this choppy range here. The question is, does Nvidia rip up to 1200? All right, so look at the market break highs. All right, so again, if look at Nvidia rip up to almost 1200. So 1200 is a big milestone level also here, chat. So look, 1200 is right here. So we're getting close. Nvidia's dragging the market up with us. I'm gonna go ahead and buy this. Nvidia looks like it's turling up. I'm gonna try to add to this. And again, we're gonna buy a pullback here. See if we catch a rip. Yeah, eventually Nvidia's not going to come back down. I'm probably buying at the top of the range, which is my mistake here. I should have just attacked the chop like I did earlier, but it's all good. Let's see if Nvidia starts to creep higher. We're pretty much flat on the day. We're down a couple, a little bit. I'm gonna sell half of the position or a little bit less, just so I can have a little bit less risk if it turns on me. All right, guys. All right, so we're over here messing around in the background. I don't want to add to this. Basically flat. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna start adding to this now. 3 contracts. Yeah, again, we're up thousands with this account. We're trading small. I do want to cut it before this data releases in about 3 minutes. I don't want to hold it through the ISM Services PMI, which is the biggest PMI release today. It's much bigger than the regular service PMI. If we break this low, I have to cut it. Yeah, we got to cut it, even if it rips back up. So small loss on the day. We'll wait for the data now. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Darren. Yeah. What we're gonna do with Nvidia here. Nvidia's pushing back up towards highs. I'll try to buy this again. Take a little bit larger size now. That way if Nvidia does start breaking highs, we're in a better spot. Let me take a little bit more off. Hey, thanks, Darren. Appreciate it. 104% gain on Nvidia. Hey, good luck, brother. Hopefully you make some money. All right, guys, we got less than 2 minutes before ISM PMI data comes out. No, so Canada did a rate cut. See, I gotta cut this before the next hour or minute and a half, though. Although Nvidia is shooting up, I do want to give it time, but there we go. Yeah, so it's the Bank of Canada that did their rate cut. All right, we got 1 minute left, chat. 1 minute left. I'm just gonna go ahead and get out there. So we're down a little bit less. All right, here we go. 20 seconds, chat. 20 seconds. Again, ISM data is expected today at 51. 51 for ISM data, which is the Institute of Supply Management. It's the bigger release. Here we go. 15 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream chat. We appreciate it. All right, here we go. ISM data drops right now. Let's see what the market does. All right, so ISM data just showed up at 53.8, higher than expected. ISM manufacturing data. And again, the market did not like it. Look at this dip. Higher than expected ISM data. Prices went up, or prices went down. ISM showed 58.1 versus 59 expected ISM prices. So initially the market reacted negatively here to it. Although Nvidia is still pushing up, it's at 1195 currently. So again, prices went down, but PMI went up. So expansion into the services sector is what this showed. 53.8 versus 50.8 expected, so noticeably higher than expected. More expansion in the services sector, which might mean more inflation problems. Is probably why the market's reacting in this way. So again, here's the report right here. But again, it's probably why the market's reacting negatively. 53.8 versus 50.8 is what it showed. But the market is starting to push up a little bit. Again, 53.8 versus 50.8. So again, maybe more inflation problems causing people worried about the higher than expected PMI data. The ISM data, again, is the most important. And so again, I'm probably going to go ahead and close it down. It's past 10. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. We'll see if the market can bounce back. Nvidia is still pushing up towards highs of the day here. So Nvidia, will it break 1200? If you want to check out my sponsors, check out Apex funded account program. If you want to day trade like me with limited risk and with a small startup amount, try a funded account program. Most day traders lose, and so if you put up your own money, you're probably going to lose. And I think most day traders will lose here as well, because most day traders lose, but it's a lot cheaper to try this out. If you pass it, you still get 90% split. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the profit target without hitting the max loss, they fund you. If you pass it and get funded, you get a 90% split. If you lose, you're only out what you pay for it. The base one's about $30. You can currently get the 250K challenge, which means if you pass it, you get 250K in funding with a 90% split for $18 if you use my link and coupon code. I'll put this link up. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because they pay me money. There's the link. You can check it out. Understand CFTC 4.41. Market's pretty flat. Remember, tomorrow we have jobless claims data. Chat, tomorrow we have jobless claims data. And then on Friday, we have non-farm payrolls and unemployment. Non-farm payrolls and unemployment on Friday. Also, understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Look at Nvidia. Shoot up, chat. Nvidia is about to break highs. Or did break high, so Nvidia up to 1195, almost 2000, or almost 1200. I mean, 1200's up here. So we'll see if Nvidia breaks it. And with that said, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all be good. Love you all. Check out my sponsors in the description if you want more info. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good.